So I'm what is referred to these days as a digital nomad, which is a nomad part, obviously, is travel. You can move around anywhere in the world. You're location independent. You don't have to work in any one city. And the digital part being that, as long as you can get a Wi-Fi connection, I can write a new book. I can upload a book to Amazon. Amazon can, I can find out the sales, they can pay me and so on. And I don't have to be in any particular place. Right now I'm in Krakow. I'll go next to Budapest. I'll spend a month there, and then I'll spend a month in Prague. And then as an American, I can only spend 3 months in the Schengen zone and have to get out for 3 months. So then I'll be heading down, stay in Eastern Europe, but I'll head further south, like to Zagreb, Belgrade, to Sofia, Bulgaria, and then over to Bucharest, Romania, maybe even to Istanbul. And by then it'll be 3 months, and I'll come back, maybe to Krakow and stay a whole 3 months next time, or, we can go anywhere. I had been told by my Polish friends in London that it was a fun, artistic, slightly weird city, which my hometown of Austin, Texas, that's the reputation it has as well. And it turned out to be true, and it turned out to be right. I've really liked the people that I've met here. It's, of course, a beautiful city, but, cities for me, many travelers, they go, oh, I did Bratislava in a day. I saw, there's nothing to see there. I'm like, people live there. There's people to meet and get to know, and so here in Krakow, I've been meeting people. I've met expats literally the first day I was here. I've met several members of the expat community, and then I've met more since then. And just wandering around and met other travelers and other people that are natives that live here. And it's been wonderful. It's a wonderful city and a wonderful people. So this is definitely a city I would return to. Krakow is just as fun and weird and interesting as it's advertised. My background is I spent many years as a hypnotist. I was a classically trained hypnotist, and so people would come to me with problems, whatever it would be. You can help them with hypnosis. And then in 2011, I had gained a lot of weight. I was quite heavy, and I figured out how to lose that weight, and so I wrote a book called The Low Carb Revolution about how to lose weight, and published it on Amazon, and it became an immediate success to the extent that I was able to quit my job as a hypnotist and travel the world full time on a budget, but still travel the world. I think of myself as I'm a globetrotter, and I'm a best-selling author. My Low Carb Revolution, and I've written 6 other books as well, are doing well. Also has a background as a hypnotist. And then finally, I'm a juggler, which is something I do, not professionally, but just in my spare time. And it's just a fun way to kind of, keep your body connected to itself. And I think of it as dancing with your hands. You can go to a club and dance with your feet. This is a way to dance with your hands. Yeah, I've actually written 7 books now. 6 were nonfiction, and 1 was a novel. They're primarily in the self-help, motivational world, weight loss, creativity. I wrote a book specifically for men, for single men. And now I'm presently writing my 8th book, and it's about robotics and artificial intelligence and the singularity, the technological singularity. So, and most of my books going forward will kind of probably tend more to be on that theme, a little more of technology meets personal development, because nobody's really exploring that space. Yes, the technological singularity, which is the concept that computers will become smarter and smarter and eventually maybe even become human-like and take over. Google and many companies, Amazon, are putting in academia, and governments are putting billions of dollars into technology. And at the same time, nobody's really putting any money or time into the human experience, what's going on inside of us. So that's sort of my mission in life, is to help people connect with themselves and get organized about who they are, what's going on the inside of them, so that they can bring themselves up to a level and maybe keep a little bit ahead of the computers. So that's where the robotics kind of stuff comes in, and it's in reflection to the human experience, not particularly for the robots themselves. Other people write books and do that kind of thing. I'm not interested in the robots. I'm interested in humans' interaction with the robots, if that makes sense. My novel is related to some of the things of my nonfiction, and it develops and explores some of the themes. Part of my history that I left out, also, kind of wrapped around my hypnotist days. I also had a job back in Austin, Texas, as a strip club DJ for several years. That was my actual last technical jobby job, was strip club DJ. And so I wrote a book about that experience. My novel is called Zen and the Art of Stripping. And it's about what it's like to be a stripper in that club environment. It's just a fun little, almost a comedy set in that world. Just because I knew that world inside and out, and so I wanted to express it. And I do plan to write other novels in the future, though, as well. So previously, I had already was going down the road of creating a series of books about the parts that we all have. We all have many different parts of ourselves that kind of take turns being who we are. There's a part of me that's a writer, there's a part of me that's a father, there's a part of me that's this and that. and like all of us. And so I was exploring that theme, but now what I'm doing is I've sort of rolled that into the concept of here's that understanding of yourself in relation to technology and how the world is changing, because the world is changing very quickly and technological, and many of the jobs that are being done today by humans will, in our lifetimes, and in fact very soon, within 5 to 10 years, be done by machines. Already, I mean, Google's had self-driving cars since 2009, and as soon as there's already a company in America they're waiting for regulations to permit them to have self-driving trucks. This particular environment where their drivers with insurance and everything else cost about $200,000 a year. For $50,000 one-time price, they can make it driverless. Well, there's 6 million people in America in the trucking industry alone. That's 6 million jobs that will go away in our lifetime. And another 6 million that kind of unload those trucks, and so machines can also do that as well. And that's just one very small example. It's going to be a very dynamic shift in the world. Yeah, and in most cases they're just waiting for regulations and so on. I mean, you can walk around Krakow and you see all over the place lines of taxi drivers sitting there hour after hour waiting for. You don't need a human being to sit there. You know, a machine. You know, we already have apps that can, summon the cabs. That driverless car could come, and that person can go do something else, find some other skill. In America already, there's a certain small segment of truck drivers who realize their days are numbered, and by law they can only drive a certain number of hours per day and per week. And what are they doing in their spare time? They're learning computer programming. They're planning ahead. People can find my books on Amazon. John McLean, McLean is my last name. I also have a website, the JohnMcLeanExperience.com, and they can go, and all my books are listed on that website. But just if you type it in for here, whether you use my books so far are only in English. I will in the future have translations done and start making arrangements for that. But they're available on Amazon.com in the U.S. or Amazon.co.uk if you have an English Amazon account, or really any country in the world. It'll feed into it. All right, I'll do a little bit of juggling for you. Usually I juggle to music. My favorite is to find like drum circles and things like that, and then juggle to the drum circles. Where I come from in Austin, there's a whole group of people that are, we call it circus, so they get together and they spin poi and they have staffs and drum circles and things like that. And they all just perform what we call circus arts or flow arts, so things like that. So just a lot of fun. That's juggling.